No combat, no sword, no special spells you cast with a button press. Just dialogue, rolls, and a goblin sidekick. And critics are calling it the best RPG of 2026. This is Esoteric Ebb. Esoteric Ebb comes from solo developer Christoffer Bodegård, published by Raw Fury, and it wears its influence proudly the branching dialogue and skill check chaos of Disco Elysium, layered into system pulled straight from the real Dungeons and Dragons campaign. You play the cleric, an expert in esoteric events and glorified government goon walking up in a morgue after a tea shop explodes in the middle of the city 5 days from its first ever election. Your job to figure out who did it, why, before the whole city goes up with it. Let's break it down. Gameplay. There is no combat here. Conflict is resolved entirely through conversation and tabletop-style dice roll against your own inner voices. It sounds strange on paper, but it's strangely deep in practice. Minor items and throwaways choice ripple through the story in ways you won't expect. The game is capital R reactive, and it trusts you to ask questions, everyone the same simple question: who and what they are voting for, and actually listens to the answer. The UI gets a little cluttered, especially on Steam Deck, but the system underneath are some of the smartest things in the genre. This is 9 out of 10 for sure. The story, story will get a 9.5 for sure. This is where Esoteric Ebb earns every bit of praise. The writing is sharp, funny, and unafraid to skewer to an entire ideological spectrum without picking easy targets. It has been called the achievement of video game storytelling, and every spending time with the esoteric host, dance screwballs, cast of characters, it's easy to see why. This isn't just another Disco Elysium clone. It carves out its own identity really fast. The isometric post-apocalyptic fantasy world isn't chasing photorealism, and it doesn't need to. Characters and environment design lean into moody, lived-in aesthetic that suits the tone perfectly. Every location feels like it has 10 years of history baked into the walls. It won't win Visual Fidelity Award, but it's confident and consistent. Here the score is definitely 8.5 out of 10, but it could go more. Sound system, I would give it 9 out of 10 for sure. The soundtrack, composed by Ender Bach and then Brian Balch and Kristen Poulsen, is doing heavy lifting here. Ominous, experimental, and stitched into traditional fantasy music in a way that gives every fiction and location its own identity. More than one reviewer has said that the game simply wouldn't work without it, and they're right. Now, replay value, a little bit more a review that needs to go in. It is 8.5 out of 10 for sure, with choice that meaningfully closes off entire side quest once in-game clock moves on. Esoteric Ebb practically demands a second playthrough to see what you missed. Speedrunners have cleared it in under an hour with the right rolls. Completionists have stretched it past 50. The range alone says a lot about how much it's packed in here. In closing, let's recap. Gameplay is 9, story 9.5, graphic 8.5, sound 9.0, replay value 8.5. That averages out to overall score of 9 out of 10. And yes, it earns the comparison of Disco Elysium while still standing entirely on its own. If you like the RPG, weird, funny, and packed with things to say, Esoteric Ebb is one of the best games of 2026. For sure. If you enjoyed the video today, hit the like, subscribe, and drop a comment. What should I review next?